As we stand on the threshold of a new year, it's natural to feel a sense of possibility and potential that comes with the promise of a fresh start. The first month is crucial. It's not just a passing moment in time, it's an opportunity to lay the foundation for everything that follows. The choices we make in these early days have the power to set the tone for the months ahead. It's not enough to simply have dreams and aspirations. We must take deliberate, meaningful steps toward transforming them into reality. This is the time to establish discipline, create structure, and face the challenges of the new year head-on. By aligning our actions with our intentions, we can ensure that the momentum we build in these first few weeks carries us forward with purpose and determination. Let's make this first month not just about resolutions, but about real, sustainable progress. When we talk about setting clear and achievable goals, we're discussing more than just wishful thinking or vague desires. We're talking about a deliberate process of understanding what it is that we want to accomplish, and taking the necessary steps to ensure those accomplishments are within our reach. The process begins with clarity. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. But if you're serious about building something meaningful in your life, you need to know exactly what it is you're aiming for. A lot of people set goals that are either too vague or too grandiose. They want to be successful or be happy, but they don't break those desires down into concrete, manageable tasks. Success is a process, not a destination. It's not a single moment where everything magically falls into place. It's a series of steps that, when followed consistently, lead to progress. If you want to succeed, you must define success in a way that you can measure and track. Success isn't about the outcome alone, it's about the path you take to get there. You have to ask yourself, what is success to me in this moment of my life? It may look different from someone else's version of success, but that's precisely the point. The next step is to make sure the goals you set are achievable. Too often we set ourselves up for failure by creating goals that are so far removed from our current abilities or circumstances that we have no real chance of reaching them. These over-ambitious goals, while inspiring on paper, can ultimately lead to frustration and a sense of defeat. You need to take an honest assessment of where you are right now and what you're capable of. If you're trying to write a novel but have never written more than a few pages in your life, it's unrealistic to expect that you'll produce a 400-page manuscript in a month. However, if you break that down into smaller, more digestible tasks, such as writing 500 words a day, that goal becomes much more achievable. It's about balance. Set goals that are ambitious enough to challenge you, but not so unrealistic that they cause you to give up before you even begin. It's the art of pushing yourself just enough to ensure growth, but not to the point where you burn out. The goals you set for yourself should feel like something you can aspire to, but also something you're willing to commit to every single day. When you achieve even the smallest steps, you create momentum, and that momentum will carry you through even the toughest times. One of the best ways to ensure that your goals are achievable is to break them down into smaller, more manageable tasks. These tasks should be simple, actionable, and measurable. If your goal is to become healthier this year, don't just say, "I want to get fit." Instead, break that down into smaller tasks like, "I will exercise for 30 minutes every day," or "I will eat vegetables with every meal." These smaller tasks not only make your goals seem more attainable, but they also give you immediate feedback. When you complete one task, you feel accomplished, and that feeling propels you toward the next. Accountability plays a huge role in making sure that your goals stay achievable. This is where the support of others comes in. It's easy to let yourself off the hook when you're the only one who knows about your goal, but when you share your intentions with others, you're more likely to follow through. Whether it's a mentor, a friend, or even a social media community, having someone to report your progress to increases your chances of success. They can offer encouragement, help you stay on track, and even give you a perspective that you might not have considered before. But even more important than accountability is the ability to be honest with yourself. This is a key part of setting clear and achievable goals, understanding your limits. There's no shame in acknowledging that you're not yet where you want to be, or that the goal you've set needs some adjustment. In fact, this is an essential part of personal growth. The process of setting and resetting goals is not about perfection. It's about progress. The willingness to adapt and recalibrate your goals as circumstances change is what separates successful individuals from those who remain stuck. Another key component of setting achievable goals is the ability to track your progress. Without measuring your results, it's easy to lose sight of how far you've come and get discouraged. Whether it's through journaling, apps, or even simple checklists, tracking your progress gives you visual evidence of your accomplishments. This not only boosts your confidence, but also helps you to identify what's working and what's not. It allows you to adjust your approach if necessary, making the process feel more manageable. As you work toward your goals, it's important to celebrate the small victories. Too often, we focus so much on the end result that we forget to appreciate the steps along the way. If you complete a task that brings you closer to your goal, take a moment to recognize it. This acknowledgement helps to keep you motivated and reminds you that success is built on small, incremental wins. These moments of celebration serve as fuel to keep you moving forward, especially when challenges arise. Setting clear and achievable goals isn't just about making a list of things you want to do. It's about cultivating a mindset that focuses on what's possible. It's about seeing challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles. When you set clear and achievable goals, you don't just create a roadmap for the year ahead, you create a pathway for personal transformation. You set the tone for who you want to become. Every day that you take a small, meaningful step toward your goal is a day that you've taken control of your future. And in a world that often feels unpredictable and chaotic, there's something deeply empowering about that. When it comes to building consistency, what you're really striving for is the ability to make positive actions habitual so they become automatic and ingrained in the rhythm of your life. The challenge, of course, lies not in the novelty of a new year or new goals, but in the daily repetition that comes after that initial excitement has worn off. It's easy to begin with enthusiasm and high energy, but maintaining that drive, day in and day out, is the real test of character. The process of building consistency is not just about doing something once or twice. It's about cultivating habits that are so deeply rooted that they become a natural part of your existence. We live in a world filled with distractions, short-term gratification, and quick fixes. The temptation is to take the path of least resistance, but the truth is that building consistency is often about doing things that might seem small or insignificant in the moment, but are the cornerstone of long-term success. These small actions, repeated daily, accumulate over time to create transformation. If you want to be successful, whether in your career, health, or relationships, you need to understand that your daily actions are the building blocks of your future. The good habits you form today will shape who you become tomorrow. Consistency is what keeps you on track when the initial excitement fades. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. The key to consistency lies in finding routines that work for you, routines that make taking action feel natural and even effortless. That might mean waking up at the same time every day, exercising before work, or setting aside time for reading or learning. It doesn't matter what the activity is, as long as it aligns with your goals and becomes something you do regularly. The point is that habits, once established, don't require constant willpower to maintain. Instead, they start to take care of themselves, operating on autopilot. One of the most powerful ways to build consistency is to start small. Trying to overhaul your entire life overnight is a recipe for failure. It's not about the magnitude of the change you make, but the frequency of the action. When you start small, you increase your chances of success because small wins provide the necessary momentum to keep going. Perhaps you want to get fitter, but instead of committing to an hour at the gym every day right from the start, begin with something manageable like a 10-minute walk or a few minutes of stretching. Over time, those small actions compound, and soon you'll find that you've built a new lifestyle. The key to consistency is not perfection but persistence. It's understanding that you will miss a day, you will falter, and there will be moments when it feels like the work is too much to bear. But you cannot allow those moments to define you. What defines you is your ability to get back on track after you've slipped. Every time you get up, no matter how many times you fall, you are strengthening the habit and your resolve. Resilience, then, is not about avoiding failure altogether. It's about recovering from failure quickly and continuing the process without allowing it to derail your progress. Accountability is a powerful motivator when building consistency. It's easy to let yourself off the hook, but when you have someone to answer to, whether it's a friend, a coach, or even a journal, you're more likely to stick with your habits. Accountability makes you more committed because it ties your actions to someone else's expectations, and there's something deeply motivating about not wanting to disappoint others. But even more importantly, accountability reinforces the idea that you are responsible for your actions and choices. You hold the power to decide whether or not you show up. Building consistency also requires self-discipline, and discipline is often misunderstood. It's not about forcing yourself to do something against your will. Rather, it's about choosing to do what you know will serve your future self. In moments of temptation or procrastination, ask yourself this simple question: will I be proud of this decision tomorrow? The ability to delay gratification and stick to your routines is a crucial part of success. It's not about depriving yourself, but about recognizing that the things that truly matter require effort and sacrifice in the short term for long-term benefit. It's also essential to recognize that consistency doesn't mean rigidity. Life is unpredictable, and there will be days when things don't go according to plan. Flexibility is a vital part of the process. Building consistency is not about following a strict schedule to the letter, but about having enough structure in your life to make progress without feeling constrained. Flexibility allows you to adapt when things go wrong, but still find a way to stay on course. Consistency means knowing what to do when things don't go according to plan, and not letting those setbacks completely derail your efforts. Another crucial element in building consistency is tracking your progress. We often think we're not making headway when in fact small changes are taking place. Tracking allows you to see how far you've come and reinforces the belief that your efforts are worthwhile. Whether it's keeping a journal, using an app, or simply crossing off tasks on a checklist, seeing tangible evidence of your progress builds momentum. It's a reminder that consistency pays off, even if it's not immediately obvious. And let's not forget the importance of celebrating your progress, no matter how small. When you're building consistency, it's easy to get caught up in what you haven't yet achieved, but it's vital to acknowledge what you have done. Every day that you stick to your habits is a victory. Take time to celebrate those small wins. They keep you motivated and remind you that your efforts are not in vain. Building consistency is about more than achieving external results. It's about becoming the kind of person who follows through, who keeps promises to themselves, and who takes deliberate, purposeful action every day. It's about turning your actions into habits, your habits into routines, and your routines into a way of life. When you build consistency in your life, you build the foundation for success in everything you do. You set the stage for growth, transformation, and the kind of long-term progress that most people only dream about. It's not always easy, and it's not always glamorous, but it is always worth it. The choice is yours. Will you show up every day, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, and build the life you want? The answer lies in your consistency. Self-reflection is an act of introspection, of looking inward to honestly assess where you've been, what you've done, and who you've become. It's a powerful tool for growth because it allows you to see yourself not as you wish to be, but as you actually are. It's all too easy to go through life in a state of autopilot, reacting to the world without really thinking about how your actions, decisions, and habits have shaped your life. But when you engage in true self-reflection, you give yourself the opportunity to pause, assess, and correct course. Without this introspective practice, you're essentially drifting, and no amount of wishing or hoping will bring meaningful change. Self-reflection is essential if you're serious about improving yourself and moving toward your goals. The past year is a treasure trove of lessons, both successes and failures, if you're willing to look at it critically. You don't need to wait for a new year to come around to begin this process. In fact, the earlier you begin, the sooner you can learn from your experiences and make adjustments. But the start of a new year does provide a natural point of reflection, a moment when the past is still fresh in your mind and you can look forward with a clearer sense of purpose. The goal is to examine the decisions you've made, the actions you've taken, and the patterns that have emerged in your life, and from that analysis, discover where you can do better. Right? And so what I would say is there are certain things that can be done. Self-reflection begins with honesty. It's easy to blame others, circumstances, or the external world for the difficulties we face. But true growth comes when you look inward and ask yourself the tough questions. What did I do to contribute to my current situation? What patterns in my behavior have held me back? What choices did I make that ultimately didn't serve me? The key to unlocking improvement is acknowledging that your decisions, no matter how small they seem in the moment, have far-reaching consequences. It's essential to take responsibility for your actions without falling into the trap of self-blame. You're not looking to punish yourself for past mistakes. You're looking to learn from them so you don't repeat them. When reflecting on the past year, take note of both your successes and failures. It's easy to focus on what went wrong and overlook the areas where you succeeded. A balanced reflection involves acknowledging your achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Success breeds confidence, and by recognizing where you've excelled, you can begin to replicate those behaviors and strategies. But don't fall into the trap of becoming complacent in the face of success. Success is an indicator that you're on the right track, but it's not the final destination. It's an opportunity to deepen your understanding of what works and to build on it. On the other hand, your failures hold lessons that are equally valuable, if not more so. The natural tendency is to avoid facing failure, to push it aside, or make excuses for it. But if you truly want to grow, you must look at your failures with the intent to understand them. What went wrong? Was it a lack of planning? Did you underestimate the challenges? Did you let your emotions or distractions dictate your actions? Failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace. For it is in the mistakes, the missteps, and the missed opportunities that you find your greatest potential for learning. The road to success is paved with failure, and the more you can dissect your missteps without judgment, the faster you can turn those lessons into fuel for your future success. It's also important to reflect on the people in your life and the role they played in the past year. Who supported you? Who challenged you? Who drained your energy or took you off course? Relationships, both positive and negative, significantly influence your journey. A part of self-reflection is evaluating whether you're surrounding yourself with people who are helping you become the best version of yourself. Are the people you interact with contributing to your growth, or are they holding you back? This doesn't mean that you should cut ties with everyone who doesn't agree with you or who might challenge your ideas. Growth often comes from discomfort, and it's important to have people around you who will push you, challenge your assumptions, and hold you accountable. But it's equally important to be mindful of relationships that are toxic or draining. As you look at the past year, take time to reflect on your goals. Were they the right goals? Did you pursue them with enough intention and commitment? Often we set goals because they sound good or because they're what society expects of us. But as you reflect, ask yourself whether those goals were truly aligned with your values and vision for your life. Did you pursue them because they were meaningful to you, or were you simply going through the motions? Sometimes the process of self-reflection involves letting go of goals that no longer serve your growth or your well-being. The clearer you get about what you want out of life, the easier it becomes to make decisions that align with your true desires, rather than conforming to external pressures. Self-reflection also requires you to ask deeper questions about your sense of purpose. What are you working toward, and why? Are you truly fulfilled in what you're doing, or are you chasing external markers of success without a deeper sense of meaning? This is a critical step in creating lasting change. Goals that are rooted in deep personal values are far more likely to be pursued with passion and sustained effort. Reflect on what truly matters to you, your passions, your dreams, and your purpose, and see whether the actions you've taken align with that. If not, you can adjust course and refocus your efforts in a way that brings more satisfaction and fulfillment. As you engage in self-reflection, it's crucial to also take note of the areas of your life that you've neglected. Are there aspects of your health, your relationships, or your personal development that have been sidelined in favor of other things? Life is dynamic, and it's easy to get caught up in the hustle of daily responsibilities and lose sight of the things that truly matter. Self-reflection allows you to step back and see where you may have neglected important areas of your life. This realization is not meant to induce guilt, but to empower you to rebalance your priorities and take action where it is needed. Lastly, self-reflection is an opportunity to define your next steps with greater clarity. Having learned from the past year, the next step is to use that knowledge to chart a course for improvement. This is where you transition from reflection to action. You have gained the insights necessary to make better choices, to form healthier habits, and to pursue goals that are aligned with your values. The process of reflection doesn't end with the acknowledgement of past mistakes. It evolves into a commitment to change. With each lesson learned, you are given the tools to create a more meaningful and fulfilling future. Self-reflection, when done properly, is the gateway to transformation. And the only thing left to do is to take what you've learned and apply it with vigor. When you prioritize your mental and physical wellness, you are essentially setting the foundation for everything that follows. Without a solid foundation, no amount of success or achievement can bring true fulfillment. Wellness, at its core, is about balance. It's not enough to focus on one aspect of your health while neglecting the other. True well-being comes from nurturing both your mind and your body simultaneously, and this dual focus provides the energy, resilience, and clarity you need to take on life's challenges. The new year presents an opportunity to recalibrate, to make the decision that your health, mental, and physical will be a priority in the months ahead. But this requires conscious effort, discipline, and a willingness to make difficult choices along the way, to filter and judge the difficult choices along the way. The mind is the engine that drives your actions, but the body is the vehicle through which those actions take place. You cannot achieve your highest potential if your body is weak, tired, or neglected, just as you cannot reach your goals if your mind is cluttered, anxious, or undisciplined. Mental and physical health are inseparable. When you begin to prioritize both, you begin to cultivate the strength needed to face the inevitable hardships that come your way. Each day is a battle, and the only way to win that battle is to ensure that both your mind and body are equipped to handle the demands of the world. Mental wellness, often overlooked in the pursuit of external success, is the foundation upon which all other successes are built. If your mind is not in a healthy state, it will be nearly impossible to perform at your best. Mental clarity and emotional resilience are essential. Without them, stress, anxiety, and negative thought patterns will pull you off course. The first step in prioritizing mental wellness is to recognize that you are in control of your mental state. Your thoughts, while sometimes automatic, can be shaped and redirected. This doesn't mean that you can simply will away difficult emotions or challenges, but it does mean that you have the power to decide how you respond to them. With the right mental tools, you can face adversity with a sense of purpose and clarity rather than being overwhelmed by it. In order to take control of your mind, you must first acknowledge the importance of self-care. The way you talk to yourself, the stories you tell about your life, and the way you interpret events in the world around you all contribute to your mental state. Negative self-talk, constant rumination, and an inability to regulate your emotions will keep you stuck. But when you commit to taking care of your mind, you begin the process of shifting your internal dialogue. Practices like mindfulness, meditation, and journaling can help you understand the patterns of your thinking and gradually train your mind to focus on the present moment rather than dwelling on past mistakes or worrying about future uncertainties. It's also crucial to recognize the importance of setting boundaries and learning to say no. Mental wellness isn't just about managing your thoughts, it's also about managing your time and energy. In a world that constantly demands more of you, it's easy to get caught up in the rush, to overextend yourself and to neglect your own needs. But without boundaries, you will burn out. Prioritizing your mental health means making space for the things that nourish your mind, whether that's time for reflection, creative pursuits, or simply resting. Don't let the demands of others rob you of the time and energy you need to maintain your mental well-being. At the same time, you cannot neglect your physical wellness. Physical health is a vital part of mental health. The body and mind are deeply connected. When your body is in poor condition, your mind will suffer as well. Lack of sleep, poor diet, and insufficient exercise can lead to fatigue, irritability, and even depression. But when you take care of your body by eating nutrient-dense foods, exercising regularly, and getting enough rest, you give yourself the energy you need to face each day with clarity and purpose. Prioritizing your physical wellness means being intentional about the way you treat your body. It's easy to put off exercise or eat unhealthy food in the moment because it feels convenient. But these short-term pleasures come at a long-term cost. You cannot expect to function at your best if you are constantly running on empty. Exercise, in particular, is one of the most effective ways to boost both mental and physical health. It doesn't require an elaborate workout routine or hours spent at the gym. It's about consistency. Small, regular movements, whether it's walking, stretching, or engaging in more intense exercise, can make a profound impact on your overall health. Exercise not only strengthens the body but also releases chemicals in the brain that improve mood and reduce stress. It's a natural antidote to anxiety and depression, and it gives you the mental clarity and resilience you need to tackle the challenges that life throws at you. When you prioritize exercise as part of your daily routine, you begin to build a strong foundation that can withstand the pressures of work, relationships, and personal goals. Diet plays an equally important role. The food you put into your body directly affects your energy levels, mood, and cognitive function. A diet rich in whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats gives your body the nutrients it needs to operate at its best. On the other hand, a diet high in processed foods, sugars, and unhealthy fats will leave you feeling sluggish, anxious, and fatigued. The connection between what we eat and how we feel is undeniable, yet it is often overlooked. Taking the time to nourish your body with the right foods is a small but powerful step toward improving your mental and physical wellness. Sleep is often the most overlooked aspect of both mental and physical wellness. It's easy to fall into the trap of working late into the night, pushing through fatigue in order to meet deadlines or fulfill obligations. But in doing so, you sacrifice your well-being. Sleep is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It's during sleep that the body repairs itself, and the mind processes the events of the day. Prioritizing sleep is one of the most impactful things you can do for your health. Aim for 7-9 hours per night, and make sleep a non-negotiable part of your routine. This simple act will pay dividends in both your physical health and your ability to think clearly and make better decisions. As you commit to prioritizing mental and physical wellness, it's important to remember that this isn't a one-time effort. It's not about doing something for a week or a month and then moving on. It's about creating sustainable habits that support your well-being over the long term. The key to success is consistency, making wellness a part of your daily life, not something that you only pay attention to when you're feeling run down or overwhelmed. By prioritizing both mental and physical wellness from the very start of the year, you set yourself up for success in all areas of your life. Your body will be stronger, your mind sharper, and your resilience greater. When you are well equipped, physically and mentally, to take on the challenges of life, nothing can stand in your way. Dreams, at their core, are visions of what we want to achieve in life, but they remain intangible unless we do something about them. It's easy to get caught up in the allure of big ideas, in the grandeur of the possibilities that lie ahead. But dreaming alone does nothing. Dreams require action, consistent, deliberate action. The transformation of a dream into a reality is not something that happens spontaneously. Instead, it requires a plan, and more importantly, it requires the discipline to take the necessary steps toward bringing that plan to fruition. A dream, while inspiring, is often clouded in abstraction. It's this lack of clarity that leads to frustration and stagnation. Many people become disillusioned because their dreams are vague, broad, or overly ambitious. They might imagine a successful career, a healthy body, or a fulfilling relationship, but these aspirations are often left unaddressed because they lack a clear, actionable path forward. The first step in taking action is breaking down these dreams into specific, tangible goals. It's about turning a vision into something that can be measured, planned for, and worked toward. I realized then, when you begin to transform a dream into a realistic plan, you have to start by identifying exactly what it is you want to achieve. Clarity is critical. The more specific you can be about your goal, the easier it will be to create a plan of action. For example, saying you want to get fit is too vague. It's a dream, a desire, but it doesn't provide any clear steps. What does getting fit mean? Does it involve running a marathon, lifting weights 3 times a week, losing a certain amount of weight? Without specificity, you are left with only the dream, not the means to accomplish it. By defining exactly what you want, you can create a roadmap that outlines the steps needed to make that dream a reality. Once you have clarity about what you want to achieve, the next step is to break that goal down into smaller, manageable tasks. This is where the true power of planning comes in. Large goals can feel overwhelming, even impossible if you try to tackle them all at once. But when you break them down into bite-sized pieces, each task becomes an achievable step toward the larger goal. If your dream is to write a book, for example, don't focus on the enormity of the project. Instead, focus on writing a page a day. Break it down even further. Perhaps start with a plan to write for 30 minutes each morning. The key is consistency, not perfection. Each small step you take builds momentum, and before you know it, the dream is no longer distant and unattainable. It's in your grasp. It's also crucial to establish realistic timelines for your goals. It's easy to get carried away with the excitement of your vision and set overly ambitious deadlines. While ambition is essential, unrealistic timelines can lead to frustration and burnout. Instead, approach your goals with a sense of realism. Set timelines that challenge you, but also leave room for flexibility and setbacks. Understand that there will be obstacles along the way, and part of the process of turning your dream into reality is learning how to overcome those obstacles with persistence and resilience. Timelines provide a framework within which you can measure progress and stay focused on your objective, but they shouldn't become a source of stress or guilt. As you plan your journey, don't neglect the importance of accountability. It's easy to tell yourself you're going to take action, but without someone or something to hold you accountable, you may not follow through. This could mean sharing your goal with a friend, setting up regular check-ins, or using a tool or app to track your progress. Accountability ensures that you stay on track and are more likely to take consistent action, even when the initial excitement wanes. It also provides you with a support system that can offer guidance, encouragement, and feedback along the way. However, accountability doesn't just come from others, it has to come from within. Taking action requires self-discipline, the ability to push through resistance even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. It's easy to talk about the importance of action, but when it's time to do the work, that's when the real test begins. There will be days when you don't feel like it. There will be moments of doubt and frustration. But you have to be willing to push through those moments, to remind yourself why you started, and to trust in the process. Taking action is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your dream. Another key aspect of transforming your dreams into plans is learning to manage your time effectively. Time is one of the most valuable resources you have, and it's easy to waste it on distractions or procrastination. If you want to turn your dreams into reality, you have to learn how to use your time wisely. This means prioritizing your goals and making time for the actions that will move you forward. Time management is not about filling every minute of your day with activity, it's about being intentional with how you spend your time. This might mean setting aside time each day to work on your goals, eliminating distractions, and saying no to things that don't align with your priorities. When you master time management, you take control of your day, and in doing so, you take control of your future. It's also important to note that setbacks are part of the journey. Taking action doesn't mean everything will go smoothly or that progress will be linear. There will be obstacles, detours, and moments when you feel like you've lost ground. But this is where resilience comes into play. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not the absence of setbacks, but the ability to bounce back after facing them. Every obstacle is an opportunity to learn and grow. Instead of viewing setbacks as failures, see them as chances to refine your approach and develop new skills. They are part of the process, not the end of it. Another common pitfall when taking action is the fear of failure. The fear of not succeeding can paralyze you, keeping you from taking any action at all. But here's the truth. Failure is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. Each failure is a lesson that brings you closer to success. The key is to see failure as feedback, not as a reflection of your worth or potential. When you take action, you will inevitably make mistakes, but those mistakes will guide you toward improvement. The act of doing, even imperfectly, moves you closer to your goals. And above all, as you take action, remember to be patient with yourself. Transformation doesn't happen overnight. The process of turning dreams into plans and then bringing those plans into reality is one that unfolds over time. It requires persistence, discipline, and a willingness to keep going when progress feels slow. Don't get discouraged by the pace of your progress. Instead, celebrate the small wins along the way. Each step forward is a victory in itself, and over time, those small steps add up to something remarkable. Taking action is the bridge between dreams and reality. It's what turns the abstract into the concrete. But action on its own is not enough. You need a plan, clarity, accountability, and resilience. The journey to transforming your dreams into realistic plans is one of discipline, focus, and persistence. And in the end, the most fulfilling part of the journey is not just the destination, but the person you become in the process. As we step into this new year, remember that the first month is not just a time to reflect, but a powerful opportunity to set the tone for what lies ahead. By setting clear goals, building healthy habits, embracing self-reflection, prioritizing wellness, and taking action, you can transform this month into a launching pad for success. The choices you make now will shape the path you walk for the rest of the year. So take those first steps with intention and purpose, because how you spend this month will determine how you spend the rest of your life.